Hello and welcome back to the On the Slab Horror Show, the show that we bring to you each and every Friday night. Why we do this on a Friday night? Because Friday night is horror night, folks. But as you can see, folks, that's not the King, that's not the Dynamo, and that's not Ted. Although he does have hair like Ted, but Ted's is a bit longer. This is Francesco Loschiavo. Did I get it right?
Yeah, pretty close. Loschiavo,
Pretty
yeah.
close. Close enough. And John Kelly from Envoy Entertainment, or Envoy, yeah, Envoy Productions, who were in touch with Screambox, who sent us a screener to their new show that's due out next week. At the time of recording, it'll be next week. That'd be right, wouldn't
Yep. It's out on Sunday,
Yep,
yep.
it?
October 13th.
And that show is Tales from the Void, which I had the pleasure of watching the first episode this evening. So, gents, welcome to the On the Slab. Thanks for taking the time out of your day to come on.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Absolutely. I know you're this side of the water for the minute, but yeah, we appreciate you coming on. So tell us a little bit about yourselves.
Yeah, for sure. I'm Francesco. I'm the series creator at Tales from the Void. I wrote and directed a couple of the episodes, and we're kind of here at Grimfest in Manchester right now, but originally from Toronto.
Yeah. My name's John Thomas Kelly. I'm the Francesco's co-showrunner on the show. I also wrote and executive produced a bunch of the episodes. Yeah, to his point, we're in Manchester right now. It's a beautiful city. Quite enjoying it. But originally, when I go home, I'm from touche, touche. I originally am from Providence and back in the States.
Nice, nice. Manchester now. Unfortunately, it's this week. You're here. In 2 weeks, Europe's biggest horror fest is on with For the Love of Horror on the 19th, 18th and 19th of
Oh,
October. If
Oh,
you
nice.
hadn't still here. Unfortunately, yous are here now, but Grimfest is pretty fucking good to get into.
Yeah, they've been really nice. It's been like really, really fun. It was great to see it in a proper theater this week. So yeah.
Yeah, the folks at the festival have been just absolutely fantastic. We've really enjoyed everyone at Grimfest. It's been great.
Nice, nice, and it's quite a well-renowned film festival too. So fair play to you for getting in there.
Oh,
Yeah,
thank
thank
you.
you. Yeah, we've been very fortunate. We're just lucky they enjoyed the show.
Yeah.
So with yous being in Grimfest, did yous have all 6 episodes on, or was it just one? Or
They played three, so we've been quite keen on them showing more than one for all the festivals. We like when you get to see, I think you'll see as you kind of watch more of them, like, yeah, everyone's very different. So you kind of get the more anthology vibe and kind of see what the tone of the show is when you kind of experience more than one up. So we showed, yeah, the first two episodes, so Into the Unknown, Fixed Frequency, and then we did Plastic Smile, which the Adams directed. So Joe Lynch's episode, one that I directed, and then the Adams.
nice, nice. Um, yeah. So I had the Black Box episode I checked out tonight.
Mhm.
That,
Um,
that would have been Joe Lynch's.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
pilot, yeah.
Very very well shot episode. Brilliantly shot. Great acting in it. And it's just one of them stories where I was kind of hooked into it. I was like, I'm not entirely sure what's going on here, but
Mhm.
I don't want to turn away in case I miss something.
Mhm.
But
Yeah, it's quite the good sci-fi premise there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. It's eerie. The square. It's very minimalist, but we think it kind of provokes a conversation for sure.
I was like, when I watched it, and when you actually see the square for the first time, I was like, have they sent me an unedited copy here, or an edited copy where something was taken out? Because the other
Mhm.
way, it's just sideways. I was like, what the fuck is going on? And then the more I watched it, I was like, what's in the box? All I could think of was seven.
That's
I
right.
was like, what's in the box?
It's funny because we had so many discussions about do you make it creepier, and there's a teaser trailer we did that you can probably find on the internet, some clouds in it and stuff. But the original story from Matt Demersky, he just described it as like a dead pixel, and you don't know what's in it. And he had a reference image online, and I think it's creepy as hell if that just looked there. It looks like a glitch in the matrix, so to speak.
I mean, like, just imagine walking out of your apartment block. Like, I live in an apartment. If I walked out of my apartment block and there's just a big square there, I'd be like, "What the fuck is going on here?" But your instinct would be to go over and look and see what's in it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, I thought the story was very good. And obviously the paranoia that it causes,
Yep.
and hysteria around. But it's obviously set at a time when everyone, not that I want to take a shot at the police or anything, but like when everyone trusted the police to come up and that'd be the end of it.
Mhm.
Like
Yeah.
there's an issue, you call the police, it's sorted. It's simple as that. There's no running around. Where this thing just doesn't go away, and then like people get worse and worse.
Yeah, it was an interesting choice. I think that was deliberate by the original No Sleep Story writer, Matt, like to not get the police involved. And we thought it was an interesting thing of we felt the need to, when I wrote it, like put a phone call in to the police, and to kind of suggest that, the guy sounds crazy and this neighborhood's maybe on the edge of town and they don't normally go out there very often. And the idea that the community had to like self-govern and kind of deal with it, I thought was an interesting take on kind of, how the community kind of takes sides and sort of tears each other apart a little bit.
It got me a little bit towards. I don't know whether you've seen the first Purge,
Yep.
like the actual movie, the first Purge, not the
Well, the
not the
first,
original one.
no, I've seen the first film, not
Oh,
the
Uh,
that reboot. Yeah.
I saw the first Purge. I
yeah,
a good amount of beers and went to the theater with a friend to watch that one. That movie was I can definitely see the parallels there, right? Because
yeah,
it's community self-policing. There is especially because of the time that that film came out too, right? Like there's like a built-in distrust of kind of police force as well
yeah,
in ways that are rather interesting that I think play similarly in our episode. Um, so yeah, that's a really good comp. I had totally not thought of that.
yeah. Like it's just more so because it's one of the more recent ones that I've watched where it's like a town that's just left to themselves.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Now I could say I've seen the New Salem's Lot and the cops don't do anything in that either, but that's a bit different.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I've
Um,
not seen New Salem's Lot yet. Yeah, I'm a little bit behind on that.
Now you said Joe Lynch directed this,
Hmm.
as in the Joe Lynch that directed Wrong Turn 2,
That's right.
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
that Joe Lynch.
Yeah,
That
that
Joe
Joe
Lynch,
Lynch,
he
yeah.
did Mayhem, Suitable Flesh. Yeah.
I I yeah. I need to have a conversation with you after this, um, because I need to make that episode happen. Wrong Turn is one of my favorite film franchises.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
really? Really?
Here's
Oh
a
yeah,
Joe's. He's a sweetheart. He's the best. We owe him a lot, and probably wouldn't have made the show without him. So Joe's great.
Yeah,
oh yeah.
I
I'm a
was gonna
huge
say
fan.
like the thing to say about Joe Lynch too is like I feel like publicly like Joe Lynch like there is a public perception like oh Joe Lynch like nice guy. Very true. Like it's like there's some people who like publicly are like nice people, then you meet them and you're like, but like Joe
Yeah.
is genuinely one of the nicest people you could possibly meet.
Good creative collaborator too. Like just
Amazing.
very open to ideas and kind of just a pleasure to work with.
Incredibly generous. And I think to his point, like we probably don't get to make this show if Joe Lynch doesn't attach himself to the show and like, agree to do the pilot. Like we owe him like, frankly, a decent chunk of our careers at this point.
Yeah.
I mean, like you see that quite a lot now with startup horror shows, where a major-ish director in the horror world attaches themselves to it to help. And I
Hmm.
mean, like even in terms of indie movies, you're seeing a lot of like um what's the right word, like horror, indie horror legends and horror legends. Like look at Felissa Rose, for
Hmm.
instance. She's in nearly every indie movie going now, and it's helping indie films become better and better.
Hmm.
Do you know what I
You
mean?
know, we're seeing a movie tomorrow at Grimfest that stars Keith David and Danny Trejo, right? Like, yeah, like
Oh,
yeah.
um, I seen an ad for it.
Tim Travers and the Time Traveler's Paradox.
No, I don't know what
Uh,
that
that,
was called.
that's the one we're seeing tomorrow. Yeah, it's got Keith David. It's got Danny Trejo. It's got a bunch of folks who are like kind of like entrenched in the horror space. But yeah, to your point, like Barbara Crampton does a lot of stuff too. Like
Yeah,
it, they
Linnea
both.
Quigley, people like that. and like they've stayed in the genre even though they could have went elsewhere.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes.
Which is great to see. So the likes of getting someone like Joe Lynch in, who's established and very well revered around in terms of directing, must have been a major plus. Obviously, you're saying the show wouldn't have happened without him.
Yeah.
I think like cosigns matter for sure for guys like us that are just starting out. I think getting the Adams and Joe to cosign and Marie as well, like just transparently was what let let the distributors, give me the chance to direct. So that was a huge, thank you that I owe to them, because I wouldn't have done the show if I didn't get to direct some of the episodes. And you had to kind of stack it with enough names that they would be comfortable taking a chance on me. So I hope people like the ones I did, but yeah, it's you know, people get uncomfortable, when they're giving you money for a show if you don't have a couple sure things. And I think, Joe and the Adams and the guys are sure things.
I mean, it always helps. It always does. Something like, but then again, as I said about indie movies and TV shows and stuff, like if you look at the say Terrifier franchise, I know we were talking off screen about it. Um, like they got crowdfunded
Hmm.
theoretically for most of it anyway, and it's paid them back no end. So like obviously yours has been somewhatly funded by producers and whatnot. So like for them to get paid back and then used to make money on the sides is a big plus.
Yeah, for sure. It's yeah, well, we've been fortunate too with the fact that like because all the stories are based on, no sleep stories, the that community showing up for us has been helpful as well, for sure.
That's the yeah, I know of the No Sleep. I was quite fond of the No Sleep podcast at one stage.
So it's funny that you asked that. We partnered with the podcast. They actually have a behind the scenes making of Tales from the Void podcast that's out on the No Sleep feed, and David Cummings hosts it. I think we have an episode with Joe Lynch coming out in a couple weeks.
Oh,
So we actually have that as a companion piece to the show. We just had our second episode come out this week with Matt Demersky, who was the original No Sleep author of The Black Square, which was the episode that you watched.
oh, I must check that out now.
Yeah.
And also in the States, when you watch an episode of Tales from the Void, stitched to the end of the episode is an interview with the original No Sleep author, and the interview is being conducted by David Cummings, who is the host of the No Sleep podcast.
Yeah.
I seen it pop up on the screener that I got. And I was like, oh look. And I was like, I didn't know whether that was just because of it being sent out as an early screener, or I was like, that's a great little touch to have at the end of a show.
You thought so, yeah. And if you know the podcast, you might be familiar with some of the episodes. I think four of the No Sleep stories we adapted were podcast episodes.
Oh, nice. I think my favorite podcast episode was the weird alien town.
Oh yeah,
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
very
yeah.
cool.
We did not adapt that
We
one.
didn't adapt that one.
Ah, lads, I'm out. I'm done. It's over.
Yeah, yeah.
That's it. That's it. Get a bigger budget for the second season. That's
I
what I
know.
want. First episode.
Trying to get UFO money.
Yeah, yeah,
That's it.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But no, the interviews with the authors were really important to us because we wanted to make sure that like, look, I mean, at the end of the day, like we're doing a show that is based on stories from a community that is really important to Francesco and I.
Mhm.
So the idea was we wanted to include like in the core episode an interview with those authors as a nod to like this is where these stories came from. These stories wouldn't exist without these authors here, and we wanted to like really give like a tip of the cap to the community. So that's really why we included those. We thought it was just
I,
really important to do.
I do think that's a really nice touch, and obviously that would all depend that they like the way the episode has gone.
Mm.
Obviously we see with Stephen King, he doesn't like a lot of his books into movies. Obviously The Shining being probably the most popular one that he doesn't like.
Mm.
Because they felt it moved too far away. So obviously having the author of the stories come on means that they fully support the vision that you've done with the episode.
Yeah, I think they were all happy with how they turned out, and that was like the most important thing for us is that the authors of the source material were proud of what we created. So yeah, it's couldn't have been happier that they were supportive of the show.
Yeah.
You know, I was very impressed, obviously, with the first episode now, and I said she's off screen. My missus watched it with me, and I was fully expecting her not to be at it at all. And she's like, "When's the next episode coming out?" And I was like, "I don't know." That's the lads when I talked to them. So she was bed into it for the 42 minutes or whatever it was.
Amazing.
Great. I'm
Uh,
happy.
so she'll be happy to know now that there's another 5 episodes to watch.
Well,
She's not gonna be happy that they're all different. But
Well, it'll be interesting. I think like the thing we're finding is they're so different, and some people, everyone has a different favorite,
yeah,
right? And
yeah.
that's kind of the fun thing with anthology. So there might be some that she doesn't like, there might be some that she really loves. So who knows?
well, I
What's
mean,
yeah,
I'm gonna go with the box being my favorite episode.
All right, there you go.
The default.
Fault. Yeah, except I think what's important or what's I guess interesting about it is like we chose to like build each episode in a different subgenre, right? So the episode you watched Into the Unknown is a sci-fi horror, but
Yeah.
like the second episode is an 80s slasher.
Oh
And
yes.
yeah,
Oh
like
yes.
Yeah, and then we get into there's a Giallo film, there's like a body horror, we have sort of like an addiction kind of creepy doll episode, and we have a monster one. They're all
Yes, lads.
yeah. So we wanted to hit each. So yeah, it's like some people really love the sci-fi, other people's love like yeah. So it really kind of runs the gamut of kind of what episodes pop for different people. But yeah, like so it's been quite interesting.
I mean, if the first episode's happened to go by, I can't wait to see the rest of them. Um, like as I said,
Yeah, we can't wait for you to see the rest of them. Well, your wife asked when the next one was coming out. It's coming out tonight.
Yeah,
yeah,
20 minutes. You can have
Yeah,
them all.
bit late for tonight now, but
yeah.
that's tomorrow's watching sorted. So
There you go.
you'll arrive back in the States on Monday now with a big email being like, "This is what I thought."
Oh,
There you
amazing,
go.
amazing.
Nice.
Please do let us know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I want to
like
hear what you think.
yeah,
Absolutely. And obviously a big shout out to Screambox for hooking this episode up, and Alex over there, top fella.
Great.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
Alex. Yeah. he's the best.
I know. Is there anywhere in Ireland or the UK that you can find this? Because Screambox does not work over here.
It will be coming out very soon. I can't. I'm not allowed to talk about the conversations.
We will be getting it soon though.
yeah.
We're trying. Yeah, I think you guys will have it next year. By next year for sure. But there's a bit of a debate with our sales agent of where it's going to go.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Obviously, you don't want to jeopardize any deals that you have on the table. Just that it will eventually make it to this side.
Oh, for sure,
Oh, no.
100%. Yeah,
Financially, it is in our best interest for it to come out in.
we want we want it to make it as
Yeah.
easy for as many people to watch the show as possible.
Yeah, so it will be coming out. The question is just where.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, like as it says, Screenbox isn't available over here, which is a shame because I mean I'm signed up to every other film subscription, so I'd be onto that one in a heartbeat.
Yeah, it's a great platform. Like they've been such great partners, and that's why we've been picky with where we go internationally because they just got what we were trying to do. We didn't get notes on scripts, didn't get notes on edits. They put it out the way we wanted to make it. So that's we're looking for similar partner in Europe. So
Yeah, they seem to be like any independent film person that or directors or whatnot that I've spoke to that are involved with making the movie or being part of that side have all hyped up Screenbox and how good they are to deal with. So, like, that's always a bonus.
well, they're filmmakers too, right? Like, Brad does the VHS franchise who runs Bloody Disgusting, and Brandon and the team there are great, and they're heavily involved with Terrifier. So we've been fortunate to work with people that work in the biz and understand the market for horror, right? So
Yeah.
It's unbelievable what they've done there, really.
Yeah, 'cause, I mean, we had conversations, I mean, we took this show out. We had conversations with folks about, potentially distributing the show. But I think they were the only people we met with who really understood and like got like, oh, like it's Reddit, it's No Sleep, kind of understood what we were trying to do. And to Francesco's point, we're like, we want to make the show the way you guys want to make the show. So like, we did many rounds on scripts,
yeah,
before we met with them. but they didn't ask us to change a single thing with any of the scripts, and we have like crazy shit that we do in future episodes that like any other distributor would have been like, there's no way you can possibly do that.
Yeah.
And they were like, that's fine. Like there were no concerns. And then same with the edits. There was nothing. We never got asked to change anything in an edit. They were very comfortable with us just kind of doing some kind of, crazy shit.
It's a rare thing in our world to get to make something at the budget level we got and not get a note. So it was fun.
I mean, like, for us, obviously as horror fans, it's great when you hear that. But for a director to be told you have free reign, go ahead, must be off the chart.
That's the crazy thing is we weren't told that. I was expecting notes.
Yeah.
They liked it, so that was kind of cool.
But that's also a good sign of good script writing, then, isn't it?
I think so. We put a lot of time, John and I, on the scripts. Like we did.
I like to think they're pretty good.
Yeah, we used to like I don't know.
They're okay.
I feel like we sound cocky when we say it, but like we used to say, if they read the scripts, we'll get a call back, and it was just finding people that got what we were trying to do and would read it, because we're kind of new to this whole industry, so we're not a name that's worth looking at whatever comes across your desk. But I think once we found a partner that knew what No Sleep was and then read the stories, it kind of worked out quite well for us.
So I actually found No Sleep. I used to work shift work, so when I'd be driving home after a night shift, I'd put it on for the 45 to an hour drive home.
Nice.
Oh, cool.
And it'd be great. Although I did find at times your man's voice was nearly putting me to sleep. I was like, yeah. not that it was in a bad way, but when it's just real relaxed and you're listening to it, and I'm like,
it's a soothing voice, David. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Like my missus listens to all them true crime podcasts and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
When she's going to bed, and I'm like, I don't know how you do that. And then I was like, oh wait, I just done the same thing, but just with a horror story rather than.
Yeah, it's not that dissimilar, right?
No.
Yeah.
My wife's into the true crime stuff too. She watches documentaries on. She falls asleep while watching documentaries on YouTube.
Yeah, my missus has them. She listens to them, and I'm like, no idea. And then she'll be telling me about it, and I was like, no idea.
Yeah.
I know. Okay, she did tell me. She told me about one case one day, and I was like, I know that case.
Yeah.
How do you know that? And I was like, because he used to be a famous wrestler at one stage.
Oh.
we won't mention names.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, I actually knew that one.
Yeah. I think I know which one you're talking about. Yeah.
There's one big one.
Mm-hmm.
But gents, so there's 5 episodes to come for obviously for me, but there'll be 6 episodes in total in season 1. I fully expect we're going to get a season 2, with how good the first one was.
Yeah,
I hope so. We hope so.
Now,
thank you so much. That's very kind of you too. Thank you.
I am going to slander you if you don't do that episode of No Sleep that I do like. The Alien Town.
We're gonna go digging through the stack. I gotta see if it's on the list. I know we had a UFO one on the list.
We do. I think that may be the one.
Yeah.
No, it's not. It's the one with the weird, like, I think it's like a robot that's in the town that's killing all the people.
Yeah, we have a stack of I think like probably 3 dozen that I curated down. I think I read a couple thousand of them, and we curated it down to like I think 36 or so. But we also have a forum on the website, and we take in story submissions. So we read everything that comes in because sometimes we find some surprises. Like in the first season of the show, like Rebecca Klingel, who wrote Betsy the Doll, which was Plastic Smile. She is a writer for Haunting at Hill House and did the Bly Manor show.
Nice.
We have
Flanagan.
Yeah, she's worked with Flanagan, so she's gone on to write big things. But then, Carrie was written by, this kid Grayson who had put like, 3 or 4 paragraphs on the internet, had only written 3 short stories, when he was in high school, and they were all great. So it kind of, good ideas come from anywhere.
Yeah,
absolutely. But gents, obviously, Screambox are putting it out on the 11th. At the time of recording, it'll be out by the time this episode comes out. So all the people over in the States, make sure and check it out on Screambox.
Sure, yeah.
Because you lucky bastards get to have it.
Yeah, 2 episodes a week starting the 13th, and then we'll be on Super Channel as well in Canada and on Screambox in the US.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you are all lucky fuckers who get to have Screenbox, and I don't.
The
Even
next time we talk to the Screenbox folks, we'll ask them what the UK expansion plan looks like.
Or
Yeah.
what their
Yeah.
VPN rules,
Yeah.
security is.
it probably won't go well.
Yeah. That's a good shout. That's a good shout.
As long as Greg gets to see them, I don't care. I'll figure it out. But folks, I don't want to keep you all night. Obviously, it's ticking to late in the evening. Obviously, we're both in the same time zone for a change.
Yeah.
But maybe when the 6 episodes have dropped fully on Screenbox, we'll have you back on.
Amazing, yeah.
And we'll go through the full season.
Sounds great.
Oh, we would love that. That'd be fantastic.
Yeah. And we'll keep in touch, obviously. And what I'll do is I'll attach. You obviously have Instagram and stuff, these.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll attach all the links in the bio as well.
Cool.
Yeah, awesome. Appreciate you.
But for now, folks, there's not a whole lot more we can do because I don't want to ruin the episode. I'll tell you what, before we go, right, I'll throw the two of you a couple of quick fire questions because it wouldn't be a horror show without me talking about horror films either.
Oh yeah, sure. Let's go. Yeah.
Normally, this conversation segues into other conversations, but it didn't happen because I was so into that episode. So I'll tell you what. If either of you give me your top 5 horror films of all time.
Okay.
It doesn't have to be in order.
You can go fast. You're pretty quick at this. I gotta think.
Okay. I'll go first. And I will put them in it's the order for right now, but the order is always subject to change. Number 1 would be The Shining. I watch The Shining with my wife every year on Valentine's Day because we have a really dark sense of humor.
Nice.
Number 2 would be Alien, the original.
Nice.
Number 3 would be John Carpenter's The Thing.
Greatest remake of all time.
Yes, exactly. I agree. Yep. Number 4 would be Black Christmas.
No. This is the important one now.
The original Black.
That's
the
okay.
Original, 1978. Yes.
That's okay.
Yeah, it's the original. The 1978 version is one of my favorite slasher scripts of all time. Then number 5, I would probably put. Oh gosh, this is the struggle part. We're gonna go Clockwork Orange. A little Clockwork Orange for you.
Do you count Clockwork Orange as a horror film, or is it more just a psychological thriller?
I become horrified at it, but if we want to throw that out as a psychological thriller, I'd put in Texas Chainsaws number 5. That was the one I was going back and forth with. Yeah.
There you go.
The 78 one?
Yes. The original. Yeah.
Now I'm gonna try the curveball here.
Yeah.
I'm part of the small minority that thinks the 03 one is better.
Oh really?
I think it's which one you saw first. I saw the 03 one first, and I loved the 03 one. And it took me time to warm up to the original.
It depends on whether you like. It depends on what you're into, right? I think if you're like down, because like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre has a name that sounds like it is going to be the grodiest movie of all time, but the original Texas Chainsaw is not that grody until the last like 15 minutes. It's a very slow burn.
Yeah.
So
apart from that hammer scene.
Yes, exactly, which is a dope scene. But like, and also like the grandpa eats at the end, right? But like
I hate that I hate it.
It's well, so yeah, like so I'm a big fan of the slow burn, right? Like Alien slowly builds, right? The Thing slowly builds. So I'm into that slow burn. So I really like Texas Chainsaw. Also, it's like one of those movies that like that's the movie that my wife asks me to watch more often than I ask her to watch. So like it's a fun one to do with the family. Nice. But if you're like I want to see chainsaws hitting people, then the 78 one's not so much for you. You want, to your point, more.
I actually seen the two of them together, one after another. My uncle in England showed me 78 first, and then we watched the 03 one.
Oh, nice.
Even when I was 14 when I seen 03, and I remember watching the original one. And even still to the day, there was a certain point in the movie where I just lost interest. and it's when the granddad basically was a corpse in the attic, and then he comes back, and from then that whole dinner scene just pisses me off. Like, I'm done with the movie then. Like, up until that, it's perfect. Like that scene of the red door opening with the cattle skull behind it.
Oh yeah, that's so good.
Yeah.
But
It's the
yeah,
greatest
from that dinner scene on, I'm just like, no, the movie can get fucked.
I feel like you took a couple of mine now. I'm thinking of
Oh,
my
have I
five.
stolen yours?
Well, you went 2 Kubricks. I'm like, damn you.
Yeah, sorry.
I would go Thing for sure, and Shining. Well, actually, I wouldn't put Shining, to be honest with you, which is crazy because I love Kubrick. But I would go Thing. This isn't in any order, but
Yeah.
I would 28 Days Later.
Oh, what a movie!
I would do Halloween. I would do. I would say Child's Play, and for me, I really love Let the Right One In.
Now
I like the Swedish version better than the like. They're both different. The remake I think is really good and it's more like accessible, but I really like the slow pacing of like European films, and I think Swedish is much more slower paced. Like there's something visually I have a hard time putting my finger on, but I find with European films and even like Nordic films or even from the UK, they just hold on shots longer, and I quite like that style. I lived in the UK for 5 or 6 years, and like I like that style of filmmaking. It's much slower pace, I think, especially with the horror stuff, than some of the remakes.
when the UK and European stuff is done right, it's right up there as some of the best horror in the
Oh,
business.
Yeah.
they do
Um,
some of the best folk horror too, in my opinion. Like,
oh
just
yeah, absolutely. Like there's a whole lot of folk stuff that could be done for here in Ireland, but it
oh yeah,
hasn't been done. Um, or like I'm still waiting to see a Banshee movie.
okay,
Yeah.
cool, yeah.
Oh,
So
what was the
there's
Hollow? Have you seen the Hollow?
the
If you,
Hollow.
the Hollow,
The
yeah.
Hollows, isn't it?
No,
Or
I
the
thought it was
Hollow?
the Hollow. Yeah,
Yeah, that
it
was
was.
good.
I think it was a British film.
I think it is, yeah.
Yeah, but it was. It wasn't Banshees, but it was like it was evil. It was fairies.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was
yeah, yeah.
Baby Stealers. It was Baby Stealers.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, that was quite a good one.
The
Um,
composer we use for Plastic Smile, Di Hexon, she's I believe she's from the UK, and she pretty much, I think she's actually Irish actually, and she pretty much only scores like folk horror, and
Yeah.
nice.
she's just a master at it, and she
Yeah.
did such a good job for us, and we love all of her work.
Yeah. She-
Funny that you mentioned Let the Right One In. I have a quick story before I let you go. So I used to work in a video shop, right?
Oh, nice.
And I used to take home a load of films, and I took let it's Let the Right One In and then Let Me In, didn't it?
I mean, yeah,
And I took the two of them home, not realizing that it was the same movie.
oh, that's
So
funny.
I watched the Swedish one first.
Yeah,
It is Swedish, isn't it, or Danish, whichever it is.
yeah,
And I was like, "This is fucking deadly."
yeah.
Right? And then I take it out and I put in the other one, and halfway through it, not even halfway through it, I'm sitting there going, I just watched this movie. I was like, what the fuck? I was like, of all the movies that I could have brought home,
Yeah.
I brought the same movie home.
Which one do you like out of the two?
I really liked the American one, but
Yeah.
the Swedish one is better.
I think it's funny. I think the Swedish one is, for some reason, I can't quite put my finger on why. The build-up is better in the Swedish one, but I think the ending is better in the American. Like the pool scene, I thought they did a really good job in the American.
Yeah, Chloe Grace Moretz was brilliant as well.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
No,
she's just brilliant and everything.
I do think it's one of the rare films where there's an American remake of a, foreign language film
yeah.
that where both of them are
It competes.
almost as good as each other.
Yeah.
Like they are on
Yeah,
the same
yeah.
plane.
I need to do a double header where I watch them
Yeah.
back to back, because it's really interesting. Like
I done it unintentionally.
intentional,
Yeah.
an intentional back to back. Yeah,
'Cause it's just so rare for someone to like. I guess maybe the U.S. remake of The Ring is like
Yeah,
Not
it's
as good, but pretty
similar.
Not,
competitive.
Yeah.
not even nearly.
You don't think so?
No,
It's not a bad film. I'll put it that.
it's
Like
not.
I
It's
watched.
just too long.
Yeah, it is long. I watched that last Halloween, and I was like, yeah, like this still is like this still hits like 20 years later. Like it's still quite good,
Yeah.
but it's just so rare to find like the English language remake that is like in the same ballpark as the original.
What
Ri-
made it hit too?
Ringu was brilliant though.
Which
He was
one?
brilliant
Yeah,
too,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
But what made that movie so good was the having to go take the VHS tape out after.
Yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah, yeah.
he had to go get that tape out, and you're just
Yeah,
like, God damn it! Like, is the phone gonna ring?
yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
yeah,
I remember renting that and just like being
yeah.
afraid of tapes for like a week. Yeah,
Yeah.
I ain't opening that. The phone rings. I ain't answering that.
yeah, no
No,
fucking
no,
way. Yeah,
absolutely not.
yeah,
Right,
Absolutely
get the phone. No, no,
not.
sir.
no, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Um, and then right, give me your top three creature features. Then the alien can't be in.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
Top three creature feet.
Throwing out the hard ones here.
I'm taking the ritual right off the top.
All right, yeah, you go
The
first.
ritual.
Everyone fucking tells me this. I tried to watch that and I thought it was absolutely gack. I didn't get about half an hour into it and I was like,
There's very few films that do that many twists, and I thought they all hit, in my opinion. Like
I will.
the
I'll go back and watch it.
Yeah, I don't know. And I thought the monster was super cool in the ritual. So
I'll go back and watch it and I'll let you know.
Yeah, give me your next two. 'Cause I'm still thinking.
Okay, creature features. It's a good one. I got.
Yeah, like all right.
Let's alternate.
Let's
Here you go.
alternate. Jaws.
Best creature feature ever made.
Yeah,
That's straight facts.
I love Jaws. I have a buddy.
Yeah, a creature. Hey, it's a shark. Is that a creature? That counts as a creature?
Sharks
Yeah.
are creatures.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
guess.
yeah,
I guess I in my mind, the reason I was thinking monster, like it has to be
Yeah, yeah.
monster. But if we can go animal, okay, well, that opens things up a bit.
Yeah, I have a friend. I have a friend at home whose like favorite movie of all time is Jaws. I got him like for his birthday one year, or maybe it was Christmas, like a signed copy of the script from Jaws, like an old signed copy.
Shit.
And I just yeah, like but yeah, we've gone a couple times to like revival screenings, and you go and you're reminded of just how good that movie is. It's shocking. Yeah.
It's ridiculous how good it
Um,
is.
Yeah, it holds up almost 50 years later. It's wild.
it's it's not a horror movie. Actually, no. Sorry, I'm gonna give two here. I'm gonna go Border, which I really like, which is the troll film, which is more of like
Or
a Border.
oh, I haven't seen that one.
It's great. It's the same writer who wrote Let the Right One In. Wrote
Oh,
Border. It's really good. Yeah. So I would go with that as my second. Troll counts as a creature, right?
Yeah.
no, please don't pick Troll Hunter.
No, not gonna pick Troll Hunter.
Jesus, that was awful.
Um, I also am not sure if this is gonna count as horror, but Jurassic Park is like the greatest creature feature of all time. You're literally bringing dinosaurs back and they're eating people.
So
That's
some people count it as a horror film. I'll
yeah,
go with it.
yeah. I like. Yeah, like I've heard people be like, it's not a horror film, and I'm like, I don't know. When I see the dinosaur chasing them in the car and the
One
object here or not appear, yeah, that's
one is one is quite like Alien and Terminator, really, isn't it? It's got more horror aspect to one.
yeah.
Two was more kind of just a sci-fi, actually kind of.
I'd go
Yes.
Boon Jung-woo's The Host. I really
Oh, what a fucking movie!
It's a great film, yeah.
I haven't seen that in so long.
That film, like I don't know, it feels like just like a better Godzilla to me. Like
It
it's
wouldn't be
like,
hard, would it?
just like contained. It's really, I mean, it's a smart movie. It's really, really good.
And I think the last one I'd give you would be recent, but Godzilla -1.
I haven't
Yeah.
seen it yet. Adam Wingard.
It's good.
Yeah,
It's really good.
that's really.
Yeah.
That's
I'm not a huge Godzilla fan. Never have been.
It kind of reinvents the Godzilla, the -1. I thought they did a really good job of it.
That's what I would actually say is like if you don't like Godzilla movies, Godzilla -1 is like actually the one to watch because it takes like such a different tact, I think,
Yeah.
from a lot of like the recent stuff done in that universe. Because it
Oh.
essentially like more normally Godzilla movies are like I drop $15 to go to the theater to watch a giant robot hit a monster with a boat or something, right? Like, I mean, it's just like it's all spectacle. Godzilla minus one like grounds it in a
It's
way
because
that
it's
it
like
feels
just
real.
let the Japanese make the Godzilla.
Yeah,
That's probably why it's good.
Yeah,
'Cause it's their original story. You know
yeah.
what I mean? When you make it fight King Kong in a blockbuster, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a little bit harder,
Yeah.
but I would say yeah, like it grounds it in like a lived reality. Like it feels like reality in a way that's like quite chilling.
Nice. Well, I'll tell you what, lads. I'll give you a creature feature to watch when you get home if you haven't seen it.
Yeah.
Right?
Just do, yeah.
It's a 2014 movie called Backcountry.
Okay.
Oh, someone just recommended this to me.
It's
24.
about a bear attack.
Yes.
Okay, very cool.
It's basically the Blair Witch with a bear.
Okay,
Oh,
cool.
that's dope.
That's sweet.
It's so good, and it's based on a true story.
Oh, interesting.
Oh, that's even better.
That's
Yeah.
really that's scary.
You'll find it on Prime.
Okay. I
Amazing.
might watch that tonight. I like
Yeah, we've got
bear stuff
TV right up here.
scares me because being from
Yeah, because you
Canada,
have bears.
I know people that have been attacked by bears. It's not it's a very serious thing. Yeah, I had a family friend. It's a terrible story where a friend of mine basically. They were big into camping, and for their honeymoon they took a helicopter remote camping. They got a distress call and came to pick them up, and bear had killed the guy's wife and eaten about half of them in the woods. Yeah.
Oh my God.
And they went camping all the time, and just freaking grizzly men. Like
What
they're
the?
they're so big, grizzlies, that and they can climb a tree, they can swim,
Yeah.
they can run. Like, yeah, it's terrifying. It's such a terrifying animal because it's like there is nothing you can do
Yeah.
if it decides, your lunch.
No.
Well,
It's just game over.
we shot in Sault Ste. Marie, and we were not the best at the Airbnb we were staying at like taking the trash in an expedient manner. And we had bears rifling through our trash after like 2 weeks of being in there.
Yeah.
And that was a bit of a rude wake up call for
That's
me.
a black bear though. Black bear.
Yeah.
Black bears are scary, but grizzlies, like,
Yeah, it's a different.
it's a
Aren't
bust.
The black bear is the one you're supposed to fight back against.
Yeah. Black bears is like, I think you'd get hurt. It would win, but I think you might. I'm saying this like I think I could fight a bear. It would kill me, but I think people would have a chance against a black bear.
Actually,
Grizzly, you're fucking dead.
Make that the main quote from the interview. Tales from the Void creator Francesco
Says he can fight a
Loschiavo
bear. Yeah.
says he would beat a black bear in a fight.
Yeah, that's the.
I mean, maybe put the likes of a Brock Lesnar against a black bear and see what happens.
I might have a chance,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
I think you got a younger Mike Tyson in the ring. He might be okay. He tried.
I don't know. Brock Lesnar is a genetic animal.
Yeah,
he's a big boy. Well, he was the champion, rightfully so.
Yeah, I think I could beat a black bear if I had a bat, like a baseball.
Yeah, that's my point. Like,
with a baseball
or
bat,
a gun. Like a grizzly, even with a gun, I think you'd probably lose to a grizzly.
Yeah,
like it might have
to keep running at you.
Gun or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know what? If I was to have a gun and had to fight a grizzly, you remember Blade's gun from the original Blade?
Yeah.
It just keeps firing.
Yeah.
Maybe with that gun.
No reload. Yeah.
Yeah.
You need that.
Yeah. And just go from there. Lads, as I said to you, we'll have you back on when season 2 or when season 1 finishes up airing, and we'll break down the episodes and how I thought the season went. If you're up for it.
Yeah, sounds great.
I'd love to.
And appreciate you taking the time out of your day to come on, obviously, when you're away as well. So
no problem. Thanks for having us. Appreciate it.
Yeah, this was so much fun. Thank you so much.
And I'm delighted that Grimfest went well for you and the screenings have gone well.
Yeah, for sure. It's been a blast.
Everyone was super nice. Like, yeah, this has been just, like some of the nicest folks we've met.
Perfect. I think that's the right way to leave it then, lads.
Awesome.
What we'll do is I'll finish this the way I finish every single Friday night, folks. In the words of the great George A. Romero, stay scared.